So I'm going to share some brief clips from this channel, Bujinkan or whatever, Bujinkan USA. And the reason is because a viewer sent me a very long, kind of almost essay about why he likes this stuff. So I'm going to share that with you guys. But these are some of the techniques that are being shared by this ninja master. So here we go. This is if someone sticks the blade. This is how he disarms him. So that's one technique. This is another technique. I guess this is another ninjutsu technique. So he's teaching you how to defend against two people, and one of them has a knife and the other is attacking you too. This is another one. He's teaching you how to use a knife against someone with a sword. So I guess this is classic ninjutsu technique. So you see it in slow motion. Look at that. He gets between the two hands that he's holding the sword, and he goes in and takes him down and slices him, etc. And there's another one, gun disarm. So he's telling you, okay, the guy got his gun pointed at you like that. I guess it's a robber, maybe like a bank robber or a gas station robber or something like that. And then here's what he's going to do. Look at that. Whoa. That's really interesting. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Here he goes. Look at that. So I guess he taps it sort of in the undersection and the gun flips out of the guy's hand. Very interesting. So here's another gun one, and of course he's telling you about the gun's weight and everything. Guns have different weights, of course. It's surprising how light some guns are. For those of you who've held a gun. Look at that. Wow, that was pretty cool, man. So let's look at that in slow motion. So he hits the guy, I guess, in the right part of the hand. Look at that. Boom. Boom, and then he catches the gun. Well, be careful when you catch the gun. Don't accidentally shoot yourself. So this is what my viewer said. I got permission for him to read this. Of course, I'm not going to name him. I don't want to reveal his identity. But this is what he said. He said, hey, so I love a lot of your videos on traditional martial arts, on the way you train it matters most. Now, although I do train in jiu-jitsu and boxing because they are amazing to do, or they are amazing to art to anything. Because they are amazing to art to anything. Okay, whatever that means. The main thing I trained in is ninjutsu, which was what the videos were on I was showing you before. And to give you some clarification, many of the videos are just demonstrations of how the body moves, different weight of weapons, etc., and not actually things you would use in the street. In my dojo, most of the adults are either law enforcement, military, or security. The way we train is much more hardcore than any other traditional martial art I've seen personally. It has been tested many times in the field and on the street. The basic understanding of how the martial art works is you train the technique, traditional technique, over and over again until you understand the movement or the way it manipulates the spine and different parts of the body. Then you train hundreds of variations until you can understand how to manipulate the body in many ways. It is not a specific set of movements, but more an understanding of how to manipulate the body. The most important part of the martial art is the use of the entire body. As I'm sure you know, manipulating small parts of the body is extremely hard or nearly impossible to do when the opponent is resisting and fighting back. What makes ours different is we use our entire body, I think that's what he's saying, and our entire body instead of just our strength. In training, mostly we exaggerate the movements to understand how to use all of the body. Personally, I find it very similar to Sistema. I just thought you'd find it interesting as you were interested in finding actual functional traditional martial arts. I think there's some good points being made here. One is that a lot of those really exaggerated movements you see in a lot of traditional kung fu, I believe there's a reason for it, and part of it is you do it really exaggerated, and slowly as you get better, it gets less and less flowery. And I think a lot of that is lost in people who don't spar. They just get used to it. They think you can do those flowery movements and not tone it down when you're in an actual fight. So I think that's a really good point. I mean, when I train jiu-jitsu, a lot of times I over-exaggerate some of my movements just to make sure I get the mechanics, I feel the mechanics, and then in the future, when I get really fluid with it, I'm not going to be as big. That being said, it's really interesting. He mentioned Sistema, and I made fun of that Sistema trailer video where it looked like they were just doing impossible stuff, and maybe they could argue the same with what this guy's arguing, that a lot of those, fighting off two people, one has a gun, one has a knife on you or stuff like that. Maybe some of that was to just understand how the body works, and it's exaggerated and almost looks like bullshit because it's supposed to be exaggerated, and then you kind of understand a little bit more about the different parts of the body, etc. And then when you actually use it, you don't exaggerate or BS it that much. I don't know. Just trying to tie my viewers' thoughts into sort of what this channel seeks to explore and understand. To the viewer who sent this, thank you so much. To everyone else, if you guys want to send me essays, you can. I'm not going to pretend I'm going to read it all, but if I do, I might feature it. So thank you guys so much for your support, and keep sending me your thoughts and your training footage, whatever, and let me know what you think about this guy's thoughts and about the footage I showed. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think whatever, it's all BS? And by the way, from what my viewer said, the guy in the video was actually ex-Green Beret / ex-DEA. DEA is the Drug Enforcement Agency. They track down criminals and mafia, etc. So the guy's name is Jeff Prather. If you look at his website, it definitely seems to say that he's done stuff. Look at that. The 7th Special Forces Group, Airborne. He's also DEA. And he seems to have done he did a lot of counterterrorism and all that. And so it seems like, this guy's seen military combat. Sometimes they say in marketing or whatever, if you have credentials, then people will at least give you some time to show yourself. They're not going to automatically dismiss you. So who knows? If any of you have trained with Dr. Prather, please let me know. Maybe we can interview you guys. Maybe I could even interview Dr. Prather. What do you guys think? Talk to you guys soon, man.